Hi, this is Santomassimo from the Massimo Group, and I want to tell you something that really comes up in conversations about high production commercial real estate brokerage careers. And not the income, not the market, not the deals, but the person who watches you leave in the morning and wonders, when the version of you they married is coming back. When the income's strong, but the presence and freedom are not. These are the questions that form in that person's that's closest to you, right? And it's actually costing you, not loudly, not as confrontations, but quietly over time. I'm going to give you the voice of those 5 questions today and tell you what each one of them is really asking underneath the surface. Question 5 is the one that arrives the last and stays the longest. If your partner has never said it out loud, I promise they've thought about it. Well, before we get into all this, I want to be clear about something. The broker generating strong income and working hours that it takes to do that, they're not doing anything wrong. No. The commitment is real. The intention to provide for the people that you love, it's real. The intention to have impact are not always the same thing. And the person absorbing the impact, rearranging the family around, the deal structure, the parenting, parenting alone, going to events that you may have missed, lying awake wondering, is this how it's going to be now, forever? That person deserves to have their experience named. A partner who stops asking questions has not found peace in the situation. They've decided that asking is more disruptive than absorbing. The decision is costing both of you more than the income is returning. Okay, so here's what these 5 questions we find from spouses, partners, even children, what they may be like, right? Hey, are you actually here or just physically present? You're at the dinner table, you're at a school event, you're on vacation, finally happened vacation, and your phone is face down, and but you want to check it, you do. Your eyes are there, your mind is somewhere between a pending deal and the call you need to return tomorrow. Your partner's not asking if your body's in the room, they're asking, hey, are you here? The families have learned to read these signs. The slightly unfocused eye contact, the response half a beat too late, they notice. They always notice. And over time, they stop expecting full present version because lowering the expectations hurts less than the disappointment. Presence is not about how many hours you were home. It's about what happens in those hours when you're there. A partner who has stopped expecting your full attention has quietly accepted a version of relationship I'm not sure either of you originally agreed to. And that one's about attention. Well, question 2 is about timeline. And it's harder to reverse. So here's a question we hear a lot, question 2. Hey, when does it become enough? This question rarely arrives directly. What it sounds like is, I thought after Q4 things would slow down, or I know you have a big deal, I'm just saying it would be nice to, and then the sentence falls off because finishing it, well, stop feeling like it's worth it. Your partner's not asking whether your income's enough. It is. They know the income's strong. They're asking whether there's a destination, whether the pace has an endpoint, right? Or whether this is simply the permanent condition of your shared life. The broker who keeps moving to the finish line generally believes the next milestone will create more breathing room. But this is a business actually structured to avoid that, It just will create more demands of your time and at a higher level. And when it does become enough, well, it's not a complaint about ambition. It's a request for a visible, specific plan of what's on the other side. What's this going to look like? And your partner, they deserve to know that there's a pace to stop. They need to know that this has a destination. Question 2 is about the future. Question 3 is about right now. And this is the one most brokers are least aware of. Just a quick timeout before we get to the rest of this video. Hope you're finding value. But look, if you're enjoying this video, we got so much to share on my YouTube channel. So subscribe right now. Hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified next time I bring you valuable content to help you make more money in less time. Okay, let's start with the rest of the video. Question 3 that your partner, spouse, or kids may be thinking is, do you know what you're missing? It sounds harsher than it is. And when a partner says this or implies it, they're not trying to make you feel guilty. No, they're trying to share something that you may not be able to see from where you're standing. Being a high producer, in a career, no doubt narrows your vision. And not because you're selfish, you're not. It's because execution requires focus, and focus requires eliminating all the peripheral, right? A broker deep in a deal is not consciously choosing to miss what's happening at home. They're simply operating in the only mode that produces the results at that level. But their partner's watching in the periphery, right? The child who stops sharing about their day because that update is always getting distracted, right? With some kind of deferred response, or the conversation never gets raised because timing never feels right. The small accumulating moments of connection that are quietly disappearing. Hey, look, you can't measure the cost of absence from being inside the absence, but your partner can. And when they ask this question, they're offering you a view that you don't have access to on your own. This is not an accusation. It's not. This is a gift. Treat it as such. Question 3 is about what is being lost. Question 4 is about something the partner eventually stops asking because they found their own answer. And that 4th question is this really for us? Or is this for you? And that question almost never gets said out loud. But it lives in the moments of a family vacation that gets cut short for a deal, or in a lifestyle where income funds that the absent earner barely participates in, right? I'm doing this for us, said so often that it starts to feel like a rehearsed answer. Here's the honest version. The broker who derives their deepest sense of identity, meaning, and validation from professional performance, not just income, but performance itself, is building something for themselves, at least as much as they're building it for their family. And that's not wrong at all. It's human. But when the story told that the family is entirely about provision and sacrifice, then the fuller truth includes a general professional fulfillment and identity. The gap between the story and the truth is where the question is born. Your partner is not asking you to stop caring about your work. Not at all. They're asking for an honest accounting of what is this really for? Because they can tell the difference between a broker who's working for the family and a broker who's found their deepest sense of self in a deal and uses the family as just a justification. Question 5, the last one, and this is going to arrive last, and it's going to probably sting the most and stay the longest. If your income went away tomorrow, would you still want this life? That doesn't always seem like a question, but sometimes it's a statement. We could do with less. Sometimes it's an observation. I just want to be happy. I'm not sure you are. Sometimes it's nothing more than a look at the end of another long week that asks 1,000 conversations have not been able to solve. What it really asking is whether the life that is being built right now is one that both people actually want, or whether it's a life optimized simply for income that one person earns and one person administers. Inside a marriage, a partnership, whatever relationship that has slowly reorganized itself around a career rather around 2 people. The income is real, the lifestyle it creates is real, but the lifestyle is not the same as the life. A life includes quality of attention paid to people within it. It includes hours that are generally protected. It includes a broker who comes home and is actually there, not as a visitor between deals, but as a participant in a shared existence that income, was supposed to be supporting, not replacing. When income is strong, but presence is not, the question your partner is really asking is, do you see what you're trading here? And is that trade still worth it to you? Because it may not be worth it to me. And that question deserves an honest answer. Not a defensive one, not reassurance, an honest examination of whether the life the income is funding is being lived by both of you or just being paid by one of you. Question 5 is the one that connects them all. None of them is about money. They're all about the person inside the production. and whether that person is still fully available to the life the production is supposed to be building. A partner who has stopped asking these questions has, well, not found peace with the situation. Instead, they decided what they're willing to absorb. And that decision isn't permanent, and by the time it becomes visible, well, the distance has usually been building for such a long time. So if you're watching this and recognizing these questions, where they've been asked out loud, and they probably have not, I want to say something directly to you. The income you've built is real. The effort behind it is real. And none of that requires you to choose between professional excellence and personal presence. These two are not mutually exclusive, but they do not coexist by accident. They require a deliberate decision to build a practice that creates room for the freedom the production was always supposed to fund. The most successful version of your career is not the one that closes the most deals. It's the one that closes the most deals and still has something worth coming home to. That's a structural decision, and it's entirely within your reach. Just a number, no deal required. Below, I want to hear your comments. Tell me in the comments which one of these 5 questions may be most present in your home. And I know it's a personal question and you don't have to answer it, ask me, but which one resonates the most, right? Just 1 through 5, which one? And I'll read every comment, respond honestly to every one. Now, if there are people in your office that are having this dilemma right now, this struggle, this situation, please share this video with them. And yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of this information. And if you want a framework that you can build a 7-figure career and have more time for your family, well, tell you what, check us out at massimo-group.com, www.massimo-group.com. Let's have the conversation. Until next time, this is Santomassimo with the Massimo Group.